A very good evening to all of you here, live from Silverstone International Circuit. I'm Matthew Duffin and I'm going to take you through tonight's Motive Racing Touring Car Championship. 2 rounds left of the season then, and the penultimate round brings you here to Silverstone International with a tight championship ongoing so far. So a 15-minute qualifying first of all to get you through to a 20-minute race, and then the second round, as we see Smoky Devil has probably picked himself up there, a one-place grid penalty. Yes, he has, I can tell from the race feed. So not the start the Smoky Devil would have wanted. Let's run you through today's runners. We've got X marked on here. We've got Spliff Master. We've got Charlie Goff, Jaff, Fuster, Sebas Stefano, who big congratulations to Sebas for winning the Megane V6 Championship on Friday night. So congratulations to him. John Boy is with us. Fury, Antonio Loza, he's been a regular all season. We've got Smoky Devil, DJ Phil Green, and the only G. So 12 cars on the grid. Will we see anybody else tonight? Maybe a few late runners, a few stragglers may join later in the session. Fury's granddad in the chat says, "Come on, Fury." Simplay Motorsport watching. So good evening to them. Then as we see the only G on track at the moment, DJ Phil still in the pits currently. So we'll see when he comes out on track. As the only G now crosses the start-finish straight and heads down towards turn 1. Round he goes in towards the farm curve, then towards turn 2, then in towards the link where it kind of links the old circuit to the new sort of circuit, the national to the international. It's sort of the GP bit on the end of, you see Maggots and Beckett's there. So down the hanger straight they come now. Does G, a few cars behind G, and the only BMW runner on the grid so far is G, as we are currently up to 13 runners now, as Dean Wasocki has joined us for the current session. Sebas currently on pole. Let's jump back on G as he comes through Stowe Corner and see what sort of lap time he can do into club then. Around the final part then of the circuit, and down the start finish straight, and it will be only second place, a 109.4, so currently 8 tenths off of the leader Sebas Stefano, as Fury's about to cross the line. In fact, he must have had a track limit there. X-Mark then, he's about to cross the line here and finish his lap time. So yet to see DJ Phil and Dean Wasocki on the track. X-Mark then puts himself up into 5th place. Smoky Devil's 8, but don't forget he has himself a grid penalty. Fury with a track limit invalid last time around, as Andy has now joined the session. So it's good to see Andy here, and we have another runner. So we've got a 15 car grid here as Mazda 917. You've just seen him in the Assetto Corsa race live on Motive Racing, as Andy took you through the commentary there. He's now here for this touring car race, a very quick guy to watch out for. Fuster's in the pits as we see Dean Wasocki exiting the pits. He's in the Renault Megane then. John Boy has currently gone into P2, so good lap from John Boy. 1.4. Sebas has improved immensely there. Can G get any quicker as he's coming round the final corner? And he did improve to go second, but only 8 tenths off the lead. Then see Fuster, he's gone into P5. Charlie Goff's in the pits in 6th. X-Mart currently running 7th. Then we've lost Andy. We've lost Andy again here, so not the best sessions for Andy so far. We've got word from him that he forgot to load his wheel up, so I wonder if he's still forgot to load it up. Spliff Master then currently P10. We see Mazda on track. What car is Mazda running in? He's in the Renault Megane as well. Just a filler for tonight's race. So nice to see some more people turning out. Fury still had a lap time invalidated, so nothing from him. And there is DJ Phil Can we see some remarkable things from him as we see Sebas cross the line this time round? And doesn't improve at all there. Where is G? Can G find 8/10? No, he can't. He finds himself spinning though, coming towards Stowe corner. So just probably pushing a little too hard there as he span at the final corner then, and that's not what he's wanting at all. But can we see any improvements from him coming through the next lap? He has got 9 minutes left on the clock here, so we'll see if there will be an improvement. We'll be able to see if we get anybody back as well. See if we can get Andy back in the session. He's just joined now, so hopefully we can get Andy in for a lap or two. But here comes Sebas in towards Stowe corner. He's going to come out of Stowe down the Vale straight in towards Club. As X-Marked had a lap time invalidated for track limits. John Boy currently in the pits. That's a car running wide, and I think that has put Sebas off a bit there, as he's now gone into the pit lane himself. Where's Jaff? It was Jaff who actually put Sebas off then. Crosses the line, no improvement for him. Smoky Devil coming up towards Stowe. Can he improve? Currently 2 seconds down on the leader's time so far. And for Smoky Devil, he's up by 9/10, and as he come through the second sector on the exit to Stowe corner into the Club section now after the Vale straight. What can he do? Can he stay 9/10 up? Can he improve any here? Mazda's gone into P6, so we're just waiting for Dean Wysocki and DJ Phil as Andy manages to get back on the session now. And are we going to see an improvement here from Smoky Devil? And he does improve. He goes 1.1 second quicker, and that's good enough to put him into P3, so a good lap time for him. He'll be absolutely gutted though that he has a one place grid penalty. We see Fuster and P6, no improvement last time round. Here's X-Mark currently 1 minute 32 down, so maybe a lap time after he's came out the pits. Spliffmaster up into P9 then, as I think we've lost Andy again. Have we lost Andy? Yeah, I think we've lost Andy again. They're not quite sure. Yeah, we've lost Andy, as Dean Wysocki hasn't done a lap time yet. Just DJ Phil, who has currently 5 seconds up on his time. Dean Wysocki got a lap time invalid, so he won't do any lap time here. That'll be nothing for him as he crosses line. Here's Antonio Loza currently P10, as we have lost Andy from the session again, so not the best of nights for Andy so far. 7 minutes remaining. He does have until the 2 minute mark to get back in the session and get on track, as Antonio Loza crosses the line now, and no improvement for him this time around. Smoky Devil currently in the pits. There's Fuster, who had no improvement as well. Sebas out front, he's currently down on his time, and where's G? Very slow out of Stowe corner, so is he just gapping himself a little more to the 2 cars that's going down the start straight now? Mazda up into P6 ahead of Fuster, then 1.5 off the pace. He's just gone into the pit. Smoky Devil in the pit lane as well, so here comes G now. Spliffmaster gets a lap time invalid. He's currently sitting P9. So then G, can he improve this time around? He's crossed the line, and now he'll fire that BMW up and he'll try and get himself onto pole position or provisional pole. Jaff's just gone into the pits himself, so here we go then. Evening to everybody who is with us live on the Motive Racing channel. We'll be taking you through all the coverage of both races tonight. Just a quick reminder that the top 5 finishers from the first race result cannot qualify for the second race, as Andy's in again here, so hopefully his troubles have now sorted themselves out and he can get a lap time in. But we're on board with G here, the only BMW on the grid. Can he get that BMW on the front row? We've seen Sebas all season. He's been mighty quick and has took the race at times to G and Andy, but G 6/10 up. How well can he take the club section then? The left-hander here locks up a bit. Maybe lost a bit of time coming through there. Now the double right-hander, he's round the first bit. Try not to run too wide here, otherwise track limits will come into play. And now clips the curb. Again, keeps it nice on the track, nice and tidy through that final section, and improves by 6/10. Probably lost a bit of time from the little lock-up, but he's brought it to 2/10 now then. Back to Sebas. So Sebas has the work to do as he's coming up to Stowe corner. We see Smoky Devil and Jaff in the pits, and DJ Phil all in the pit lane then. Is Sebas going to improve any here? Charlie Goff has a lap time invalid for track limits. It is hard to keep that car from going wide at the last corner. If you go any part over towards the end of your lap, that will give you a track limit penalty. DJ Phil Charlie Goff, Fuster and Smoky Devil in the pits, and no improvement there for Sebas. Joff is back out on track. Here comes John Boy through the final couple of corners. Is there any improvement here? Currently 1.4 down on the time, and no improvement for John Boy. Where's Maz coming down the hanger straight? X mark the car just in front. Fury's about to cross the line. Can he improve on his 1 minute 10.1? He does by only 500ths of a second to do a 1 minute 10.0. Antonio Loza then, he's just crossed the line. He's currently down in P11. Dean Wasoki's managed to get a lap time in, currently 13th quickest on track, and DJ Phil in P14. Andy is on the track in his Renault Megane, so that's good to see. So we'll see what he can do now. Stefano, can he get a good lap time in here? We see Smoky Devil still in the pits, Mazda's in the pits, so is Charlie Goff. So we'll see what they can do here. Dean Wasoki, just a shout out, making his Motive Racing debut tonight. So we hope to have some good clean racing from him as well. Sebastian rounding the final corner. Any improvement on this lap time so far? No improvement there. What about G? Where's he on the track? He's on the hanger straight. Can he get out a better lap time in? He only needs to find a small margin, just 2.5 tenths here, just over, sorry, 2.5 tenths. We'll get him a lap, and he doesn't sound like he's really pushing that BMW. He's currently 5 seconds down on his time, so no improvement there. Here's Jaff, though, down the hanger straight. See what Jaff can do. And he's done a time, and it's good enough to put him 11th on the grid, and I'm sure he's going to want to quickly make up for that. Sebastian's in the pits, so he's got 3 minutes. He can maybe make a few alterations to the car and then come back out onto the circuit. He is now. In fact, he's back out the track onto the track now. Smoky Devil still in the pits. It's a short lap, only a 1 minute 8 lap here, so he can get out and quickly do a lap time. As we see John Boy in the pits, and Jaff crosses the line now. No improvement for him. Where's Maz coming into the club section of the track? Let's see what he can do. Any improvement? Currently 1.5 seconds down. Is Mazda in the Renault Megane? And is there any improvement here as he crosses the line? No, so probably just an outlap. X-Mark then just coming down to the hanger straight. Fuster just in front of him. Is Spliffmaster in his Mercedes-Benz. Around the final couple of corners. Doesn't seem to be giving it all that much at the moment. A good 15-car grid here then. So a good full grid. We hope to see some interesting racing in the first 2 races. Spliffmaster crosses the line. And no improvement from him. Where's Fury? He's just coming out of the pit lane. Andy then, he's just coming through Village. Antonio Loza and Charlie Goff in the pits. Dean Wasaki coming down the hanger straight. DJ Phil just coming onto the hanger straight. So we go back to the front of the pack. G's just done lap time, but no improvement. Jaff coming through the final couple of corners now. He gets it neat and tidy through the Exeter Club. And is this going to be up on his time? Currently 1.2 off the leaders. What's his time going to be? Currently a 10th down there, so no improvement from him. We see Mazda just in front of John Boy. So what can Mazda do here? Currently 1.5 down. He only needs 3 tenths to get in front of John Boy, but John Boy is the car behind. So is Mazda the man to gain a few tenths on this lap, or has John Boy been able to find a few something? Nothing from Mazda, only just a little bit down. John Boy crosses the line now, and no improvement as well. That's Dean Wasaki who didn't improve, just behind them guys. Where's X Marty's on the hanger straight, so is Fuster. Spliffmaster then coming towards the end of his lap. Nicely through club there. Let's see what he can do here. Over the line and finds 3 tenths of a second and actually jumps Fury, who is just coming around to finish his lap now. So can Fury find a bit of time here? Doesn't need much. Smoky Devil's got it within 9 tenths, but he's still in the pits. That'll be him done, as it will be for Spliffmaster and Antonio Lozzi. Pardon me. Fury then cannot find anything else. Andy coming onto the hanger straight, giving it absolutely everything. Charlie Goff's going to cross the line and get one more lap time in. That's Jaff just in front, who will also get a lap time in. Where's DJ Phil? He's coming into Stowe. There is a car in front of DJ Phil. Oh, he's very wide there. Sabas on the hanger straight, just by the only G. Jaff's through turn 1 and 2. John Boy, he's about to cross the line and will be the first of the finishers then tonight. So John Boy currently P5, spins across the line with no improvement there then. There's Dean Wasaki. I'm not sure what he's done there. I think he's had a bit of, he's into the pits. So no improvement for Dean Wasaki then. No improvement neither for DJ Phil, who crosses the line. Here comes Andy. Can he find anything? And he does. Goes into P4 this way. A heck of a lap from Andy. Joined late. Left it late, but managed to get the lap time in the end. A lot of people pitting. Fury still out on track though. Where is Jaff? He will come to the end of his lap time soon, I imagine. Can Fury find anything here to knock himself up the grid a bit more? No, nothing from Fury. Now Jaff needs 1.2, just needs 2 attempts to retake 4th place from Andy. Sebas currently on provisional pole. This is the last man who will do a lap. So what can Jaff do here as he crosses the line? And no improvement from him. So it will be Sebas to take the start of the race, to take the pole position for the first race, followed by the only G. Smoky Devil in 3rd with Andy 4th, Jaff 5th, John Boy 6th, Mazda 7th with X Martin 8th, Fuster 9th, Spliffmaster 10th, Fury in 11th, Antonio Loza 12th, Charlie Goff 13th, Dean Wasaki 14th, and DJ Phil 15th. So a good 15 car grid here. We'll have to wait and see what these guys can do. Sebas on pole, but we'll know the BMW gets an absolute crazy start. So can the BMW here of the only G boost himself off the line? He will have the inside line to turn 1 if he can get alongside Sebas. Can that BMW's great start play advantage to G here? We see there is only one BMW on the grid, a few Mercedes, mainly Renault Meganes on this grid. So let's see what these guys can do then. As we wait for them to ready up. So we all seem ready now then. Let's see if G can get a good start. Let's see who else can get a good start on the grid. And we're away here at Silverstone International. Great start from Sebas. G didn't get the pull away from the BMW like we've known the BMW can have a good start. So not the best from G there, but Sebas leads through turn 1. G is in 2nd. Jaff's got himself up into 3rd. A bit of bumping and shoving around. Someone span towards the back of the pack. Dean Wasaki and John Boy look like they've not had the best of starts. Mazda's got himself from 7th to 4th, so a good opening few corners for Mazda. And he's got Andy right beside him in the other Renault Megane. And look at this, good battling. Mazda breaks deep and Jaff in front of him there then, but it's G and Sebastefano who's got away early in this race. Mazda's up to 4th then, Andy's in 5th, Fury's in 6th place, X-Mark follows in 7th, Smoky Devil in 8th trying to follow them, Spliffmaster right behind the Smoky Devil in 9th. DJ Phil from the back of the grid up to 10th place here, so a cracking first few corners for him. Charlie Goff in 11th, Antonio Loza's up to 12th, John Boy in 13th after a spin on the first corner, Fuster in 14th for Dean Wasaki bringing up the rear then, but G starting to pull in on Sebas. We see Mazda down a couple of positions. He's now lost out to X-Mart, so maybe a bit of a mistake from Mazda as a car in the background. That Smoky Devil who ran wide. Don't forget he had a 1-place grid penalty, did Smoky Devil. A bollard flying you see there. But it's Mazda down in 7th place at the moment. We see Jaff currently holding a great 3rd place so far. He looks like he's got a good start and he's got away well here as Jaff. He's got Andy though really hot on his heels, who'll want to get past and get onto the leaders, who are already, 3.5 seconds up the road, and the only G really trying to close in on Sebastefano. Smoky Devil and Charlie Goff with a time penalty. You see their number in the red. That means they've got a 1 second or more penalty. You see plenty of drivers running wide there as they come through the loop. But Sabas holding out a 7/10 gap to the only G at the moment. Jaff, as Andy looks up the inside at Stowe and can't get the move done under the brakes. Jaff manages to hold P3, but it's only a matter of time, surely, before Andy has a look. Mazda's down to 7th as X-Mart has got past. I've just noticed on my timing screen. All this is allowing Fury to catch on the back of Andy here. You see Fury sitting in P5, running in the black and green monster liveried car. X-Mart's trying to keep up with this pack. So's Mazda, who's got Spliff Master on the back of him. He's got in front of Smoky Devil, who's P9 here. DJ Phil's got himself up into 10th, and he's going to try and keep on the back of this pack then. Charlie Goff running in 11th place, with John Boy 12th, Antonio Loza 13th, Fuster 14th, trying to catch up to the back of him, and Dean Wysocki, who's had a terrible start to this race, all the way down in P15. Mazda's picked himself up a time penalty then, and we're on with G here, who is still getting closer and closer to Sebastefano. You see there in the background, there's Jaff, Andy. Fury looks like he's going to try and pull out here and make a move up the inside of Andy. This is side by side coming down the hanger straight. And has he got the move done? He has. Look, he's in front of Andy before Stowe, and will be up the inside at Stowe then later on the brakes. And look at how he gains on Jaff there. But Andy has to drop down a place, and DJ Phil's picked himself up a time penalty. And Fury already defensive, pulling to the inside line of the track. This is allowing X-Mart on the back of this pair as well. Going to be keeping himself interested. Fuster has passed Antonio Loza for 13th place. I noticed on my timing screen. G's got the gap down to 3/10, but this currently the battle for 3rd place at the moment. And look at Andy on the upside, up the inside, and a quick tap of the rear on Fury there. But Fury manages to hold it, and X-Mart to squeeze through into P4. Will be on the outside though here. Andy and X-Mart going head to head as Andy just clipped the back of Fury's car there. Fury managed to hang on well. But that gave X-Mart a sneaky opportunity then to just try and get up his inside, and it, well, on the outside, and it didn't quite work. Up front though, you see G on the back of Sabas, and he's really now hassling him. The gap down to a 10th or 2. Sabas has ran a little wide there, and G had a quick look up the inside there, coming through the exit of Stowe corner. Couldn't get the move done. Sabas goes defensive early. G, does he think of setting him up through club? Just seems a bit too far back, but Sebastian's ran a bit wider, and G looked like he kept the line tight. And does he have his nose in front for the final part of club? No, he doesn't. And he's going to have to settle for being 2nd place still, as we've got 15 minutes remaining as we enter lap 5 now though. Sabas still leads from G, Jaff, Fury, Andy, X-Mart, Mazda, Spliff Master, Smoky Devil, Charlie Goff, John Boy, DJ Phil, Fuster, Antonio Loza, and then Dean Wysocki bringing up the rear. But here's G, look at how quick he is through Village. Now to the loop. Where does he get the move done? Will he have the slipstream down the hanger straight? Look at that, he's kept a tighter line through the loop, but couldn't get it done. He just lit the rears up coming through the corner and couldn't make the move stick. Look at in the background, X-Mart's managed to pass Andy and Fury, and Andy's got past Fury as well. Cracking battle here. We see Mazda trying to get on the back of this pack as well, and Smoky Devil. And Spliff Master, Mazda is on the back of X-Mart. In fact, here he's going to look up the inside into Stowe of Fury. And does it? He's forced the move, but Fury will have the inside line for the first part of club. Does Mazda keep it there? Look at Andy and X-Mart battling along. And Mazda looks like he's got the switchback on Fury then. Fury into the back of Andy. Mazda respectfully gets out of that one with a bit of chaos just up in front then. This has brought Smoky Devil and Spliff Master right onto the back of these two here. And what cracking racing. This is all for 4th place. Jaff has been able to get away, punch in some good lap times and pull away from this pack here. And it's all led by this man X-Mart, who's just starting to gap Andy. Is that Maz under a bit of danger from Smoky Devil? Yes, it is indeed, as he goes deep into the corner and covers his inside. Look at the run Smoky Devil's got on Mazda, and a bit of a touch there to the back of Mazda's car from Smoky Devil. Now to the hanger straight we go again. X-Mart has picked himself up a time penalty. Mazda has one, Smoky Devil has one. Charlie Goff's past John Boy, then DJ Phil has passed Fuster in the background on the timing screens. Fury though pulls out and gets past Andy nice and easy down the hanger straight, and they're both going to have a look on X-Mart. Here comes Fury, but can't get it done. X-Mart closes the door and says no, not through there this time. Andy coming back at Fury then, and has the move done, cuts in front to defend the inside line. Masters defending from Smoky Devil. There's battles where you look at Andy's past X-Mart. Fury up past X-Mart as well, so a cracking drive here. Great battles. Masters managed to stay in front to Smoky Devil, but our Spliff Master with him, trying to get up the inside. Andy though goes defensive. He has a time penalty and he's defending now his inside line. X-Mark goes up the inside of Fury there. We can't see it at the moment. We'll pick them up in now. X-Mark and Fury still side by side. Smoky Devil has got past Master and has now passed X-Mark. But X-Mark back up the inside. Can't get the job done. Fury looks like he's got to run on Andy. He's going to have the inside line at the loop. Side by side, coming towards the hanger straight. Andy inside for this corner here. Smoky Devil kept it tighter. X-Mark's going to have a run as well. All in the slipstream. This has really allowed Jaff to get away. They're actually lapping a bit slower than the cars behind them. So this is a real gaggle of cars here. This is from P4 down to P9. All battling it out. What fantastic racing we've got on display here. Fury tries to go the long way around Andy, but has to watch because X-Mark's trying to tuck underneath, but can't do it. Andy will defend solidly here. Here comes Fury. Is he going to send one up the inside? No, can't get it done. And X-Mark's been tapped by Smoky Devil. And he's round. They both stopped. Smoky Devil and X-Mark have been spun around and have stopped at the first part of club. That's allowed Mazda and Spliff Master through and has relieved a bit of pressure from Andy and Fury then. Andy lapping 2 seconds slower than these guys, so is Mazda. Fury and Spliff Master really on the pace here. And I tell you what, been a cracking battle. Back out front, it's G side by side with Sebastofano. And I think the BMW may have the pull to just get in front. They lean on each other slightly. Look at this battle going on. You see in the background is the other places. But here is G and Sebast touching again as they come towards Stowe. G can't get it done. The Megane just pulls in front, but goes a bit wide, and G looks to keep it in the inside. Can't get it done there. We head towards club. 8 laps in. We're down to just under 11 minutes then. What can G do about Sebastofano? Well, I wonder. He's got up the inside at club and he's going to keep it there surely for the first corner of Abbey. What is Sebast going to do? He tucks in. Sebast has just managed to pull away from G just slightly to keep himself in front there. Fantastic battles here. Up and down the grid. We'll stay on board this one for the lead though. G taking a wider entry. Looking for a cutback maybe, but can't get it done. At Village, we come to the loop. Can he get anything done here? No, he can't. Head back to P4 Andy then. Has Jaff on his tail. Mazda trying to just keep with these two as well. Andy just starting to stretch his leg over a second now. The gap is just slightly, and he's just now that he's not defending too much, he's lapping quicker than the leaders, and he's just reeling in Jaff here. Andy looking very good for his money here then. There's Mazda and Spliff Master. Coming down into Stowe then. Good little battle there as we drop back to DJ Phil in 10th. He's trying to gain on Smoky Devil, who had an earlier spin. And he's also got Charlie Goff and John Boy on his tail then. DJ Phil racing well, lapping quicker than Smoky Devil last time round, but a bit slower than John Boy and Charlie Goff. Oh, bit of a wiggle there from John Boy as Goff tries to defend as well as attack at the same time. This is a good little battle this for P10. Goff gets a good run up the inside of DJ Phil Green. DJ Phil with the wipers on, but manages to keep in front of Charlie Goff there. Charlie must have just had a bit of a poor exit from the first part of club, who looked like he'd got up the inside of DJ Phil, but couldn't in the end. G's picked himself up a time penalty. That's not going to help him later in this race. Back to the front though. How far is he behind Sebast? We see them coming in towards Stowe for the 10th time here. 2 tenths the gap. Jaff has Andy crawling all over the back of him here. Really wants to get something done. We've just seen on my timing board that John Boy has passed Charlie Goff then for 11th place. So still that battle remains with DJ Phil, but Andy trying to get past Jaff for 3rd for the final podium place. This will do him some good, this, if Andy can get up the inside. He looks like he's got the run coming on the final part club. If he can keep his Megane there, Jaff's run ever so wide, but he looks like he's managed to keep it as well. So possibly a slowdown penalty and maybe a time penalty coming his way if he doesn't concede that time back. See if his number turns red or not. But Andy here really doing well. He'd love a podium here to keep on with the top two for the points in the championship. Don't have an up-to-date table, so apologies for that. There will be one released on Monday. But yeah, for Andy here, it's all about damage limitation. Not the best of qualifying in and out the session, and then qualified low down, qualified P4 just at the end. And goes up the inside here at Stowe, and looks like he's got the job done now. But again, Jaff just managing to keep his foot in there. And Andy's going to try around the outside. If he can keep a nose up the inside here, he'll be up the inside for Club. And he's done it, excuse me, absolutely beautifully there. That was textbook from Andy. Set Jaff up like a peach. And Fury now closing in on this little battle. We see Sebas now 6/10 clear of the only G out front. And I tell you what, Andy's absolutely flying here. Absolutely giving it full beans as they come through towards Village. Really putting on a good show here. Fury now on the back of Jaff. This for P3 at the moment. And for Andy here, he's absolutely driving his car, really ragging it round Silverstone International. Absolute quality driving this is from these boys. Further down the grid we see Mazda on the back of Spliff Master. So Spliff Master managed to get past Mazda then. X-Mart's trying to regain some ground here. Can Mazda do it in the Renault Megane? Down to 11th. You see John Boy and Charlie Goff trying to catch up to DJ Phil. There's Fuster. There's Antonio Loza, P14. Quiet race for him and a real quiet race for Dean Wasocki. Currently 15th on track and really struggling here. Back out front though, Sebas. Still holding on from the only G. Jaff did pick himself up a time penalty, so that'll help Fury out as well. If Fury can stick with Andy, that could be a P3 on the cards. But now Andy's got clear air. We see the lap times he can pump in. As G looks like he gets a good run out the loop. And down the hanger straight we go. But we see the Megane is no slouch in a straight line here. An absolute demon of a car is the Renault Megane and the BMW. Good straight line speed. As we've got just over 5 minutes remaining then. It's been an absolute cracking race throughout here. We go to Fury now, who's on the back of Jaff. Jaff's trying to keep with Andy as well. Been such a good race. No, I don't know where to look up and down the grid. DJ Phil's just lost out to John Boy and Charlie Goff and Fuster, so maybe a mistake there for DJ Phil. But look at Fury really now dropping off the back of Andy as he's got to defend from Fury. Fury will know that the time penalty of Jaff and Andy, as the only G I've just noticed on my timing screen, has passed Sebastofano. Now he has a time penalty as well, so needs to really get on with this and pull away from Sebas. Sebas just needs to stick with him. So we didn't see how the move got made, but he's done it. Master's made his way up into P6. So yeah, not sure how this move got made, but G's made the move. And needs to now pull away from Sebas. Otherwise it could be a race win for Sebas here, who's kept himself clean and not got a time penalty. Unlike G, who's got the rear sticking out there. Back to Andy. He's gapped Jaff. Jaff has gapped Fury. So maybe a mistake from Fury then. Mazda's past Spliff Master, but Spliff Master looking all over the back of Mazda here. Don't forget, for race 2 you cannot qualify the top 5, can't, and we've got 15 on the grid, so it could be anybody's qualifying. Mazda defends well from Spliff Master. Does he look for a cutback? And he does! He's absolutely done a beautiful manoeuvre there on Mazda, but will Mazda stay up the inside? Will he Sutty send one up his inside here? And he's thinking about it and gets the move done, but Spliff Master keeps it round the inside, round the outside to keep himself inside for the next part of Club. Absolute great driving so far from these two. And a battle that's continuing all this race. We've seen some fantastic battles up and down the grid. Sebas now half a second behind the only G, so just starting to drop back a bit and makes a mistake coming onto the hanger straight. This will allow G to stretch his legs and get out in front even more than what he was. And that will not be what Sebas wants if G has only a second penalty. That could hurt him at the end. Fury all over the back of Jaff. This could be for 4th place. Fury needs to get past sooner rather than later to try and catch Andy. You see Mazda and Spliffmaster wide in the background then. So not what they're wanting at all with X-Mark catching them. Everybody has a time penalty bar. Fury, Sebas, Fuster, John Boy, Antonio Loza and Dean Wasocki. And I tell you what, it's been an absolute gem of a race. Fantastic battles up and down the grid here. Some fantastic moves here from these guys as well. 15 cars on this grid, and I tell you what, Sebas has really dropped off the back of only G. The gap is 1.3 seconds. So G, if he's only got a second penalty, may have pulled off a blinder there. Mazda and Spliffmaster, though, the closest battle on track. But still going on this battle. It's been going on all race. They've dropped off the back of Jaff, Fury and Andy for the time being, but they're having their own little race here. And Mazda just cannot find a way through. And when he does, Spliffmaster just has an answer back to him. As Mazda's just dropped back a bit, coming on down the hanger straight. And it's just lost out a bit of time then. Spliffmaster, we go back to Fuster, who's got John Boy and DJ Phil all over the back of him. And looks to try and make a move around the outside here. But still side by side of these two in the Mercedes, similar liveries. Fuster in the yellow wing mirrors, John Boy in the red. DJ Phil on the background trying to get something done. As Fuster and John Boy, they touch, and John Boy's going to look up the inside of Fuster. Has that give DJ Phil a run? It has indeed. So Fuster's lost out on 2 places, and DJ Phil and John Boy capitalising there. Sebas is within a second again of the only G out front. Dean Wasocki's now picked himself up a time penalty. In fact, Sebas has passed the only G, so has G made a mistake somewhere here? Absolutely fantastic racing, and Sebas is back in front. Absolutely brilliant stuff then. G right on the back of Sebas, but with G having that time penalty, this will help Sebas being in front. Needs G to maybe make another mistake. I think that was Dean Wasocki who's been lapped, if I'm correct. Yeah, Dean Wasocki then, he's been lapped by these two. Hopefully he wasn't involved with the incident between G at the end, but we'll wait and see. Sebas then doing everything right. G made the mistake, or well, we think he made the mistake. As Antonio Loza has passed Fuster, I've just seen on my timing screen. Spliffmaster still with Spliffmaster still defending from Mazda. Gary wishes he was on the grid. We're down to 14 runners, so we have had a retirement here. Just try and see if I can see who it is. Fuster's disconnected. Is that the race complete? I think it is. I think Seb has taken the win then from the only G. I think the race is complete. Yeah, they've finished. So Seb takes the win from the only G. Andy's coming for a good 3rd place for him. Jaff with a 4th. Fury takes it now on penalties. Spliffmaster's going to get 6th, or is he? As Mazda to the line, yes. Spliffmaster 6th, Mazda 7th. Smoky Devil's going to come home for an 8th place, with Charlie Goff coming home in 9th. John Boy's going to get a 10th place here. DJ Phil gaining on him at the end, comes home for 11th. Antonio Loza, he's going to take a P12, so a good little race there for Antonio Loza. Nice to see that. Xmart. Has he ran out of fuel? Xmart's ran out of fuel on the final lap, so we'll come home 13th as Dean Wisoki's finished a lap down. Antonio Loza actually passed DJ Phil due to time penalties, so was well behind DJ Phil. But absolutely buzzing there will be Antonio Loza. Xmart ran out of fuel on the final lap. So for the first race here then, it's Sebastefano who takes the race win. G with second place, Andy third, Fury got fourth, Jaff fifth, Spliffmaster sixth, Mazda seventh, Smoky Devil eighth, Charlie Goff ninth, John Boy 10th, Antonio Loza 11th. DJ Phil Green with a 39-second penalty. Holy moly. He comes home P12. Xmart 13th. And Dean Wisoki a lap down in 14th. We're going to take a quick break while we get set up for the second race. We'll be back shortly. And a good welcome back, a good welcome back, and a welcome back to all of you. Then I hope you've had a time to go get some refreshments, take a toilet break maybe, as we're in store for a fantastic 27-lap race here around a brilliant circuit. Silverstone International for these touring car drivers. Then, so just quickly then, the top 5 finishers from the last race cannot qualify for this round. It's only a shorter qualifying, so a 10-minute quali. The top 5 finishers cannot qualify, and the next round is a 27-lapped race instead of a timed race with a mandatory pit stop. But you can only do your mandatory pit stop after lap 9 when the pit window opens then. So best of luck to everybody out there on the grid. We currently see X-Marts out on track, as is Mazda, who's had a change into the Astra. I don't think Mazda's scoring points, but a jump into the Astra for him. Fuster in the Mercedes, as is John Boy, we know already. Dean Wasocki in the Megane. Smokey Devil and DJ Phil out on track. So we know G can't qualify after finishing second. Fury cannot qualify. Neither can Sebastofano. Neither can Jaff and Andy. Charlie and Antonio Loz are still in the pits. Not quite sure why. Just Antonio Loz are now in the pits at the moment. As you can see, it's a bit later in the day. The weather's changed a bit. It is dark over Silverstone International here then. And we see some fantastic little racing on track so far. In race 1, if you wasn't with us for that, we're glad you're with us now. Fantastic opening race and here in the penultimate race of the season, penultimate rounds, sorry, of the season. We go to, I do believe it's Alton Park next week for the season finale. As DJ Phil we see currently doing the fastest time. Mazda's now just topped that time with a 1:11. DJ Phil second with a 1:12. Dean Wasocki currently sitting third then. We see X-Mart about to cross the line. Fuster and John Boy have both outgone now first and second between themselves. X-Mart's about to cross the grid. Smokey Devil had a lap time invalid, so not the start he would have wanted at all. And X-Mart crosses the line and goes P3 at the moment. Spliffmaster, he's on his first lap. So's Charlie Goff. Smokey Devil then, oh, well off track there at Village. It's not quite sure what happened there. But it is Dean Wasocki coming through Stowe at the minute, who will set the second time. So is he up? He is by 0.6 of a second, currently 2.2 down on the fastest lap time so far. Making his Motive Racing debut tonight is Dean Wasocki, so a big welcome to him. And we see him cross the line here, and he was 0.6 up. Any more improvement for the final couple of corners? No, has he got a lap time invalid? So not what he wants. DJ Phil improves by 1.6. What about Mazda? Can he improve any? Currently down by 0.4 of a second then. Here comes Fuster. It'll be John Boy to cross the line first. Not improvement for his time, nor John Boy's. Spliffmaster goes currently third fastest, so good time from him. Here comes X-Mart out the final corner. Charlie Goff's just currently gone on pole by 0.003 of a second. Fantastic line from him. No improvement then for X-Mart. Smokey Devil's finally put a lap time in as well. He's P9. That's Charlie Goff. A bit out of shape coming through the farm curve there. Not what we'd have wanted. Mazda in the pit. So is he making a few adjustments to the Astra to try and get it on the pace, as we see Dean Wasocki? I think that may be a lap time invalid again there for Dean. He's going to cross the line. Is there any improvement here? He's just pushed the limits a couple of times, and no improvement for Dean as he just went too far over. DJ Phil has a lap time invalid as well. So where's John Boy? He'll be next to do a lap, and then it will be Fuster. John Boy's gone pole. It'll actually be Spliffmaster to do his next time. He's gone second. Fuster, no improvement. Charlie Goff round in the final couple of corners here. Anything for Charlie Goff as we see a full grid now with, I do believe, is that Sooty Apex? It is Sooty Apex, and the master of the Sooty Send It, joins the session as X-Mart takes pole by half a second from John Boy. Spliffmaster currently third, and up on his delta you see there Charlie Goff in fourth with Fuster fifth, DJ Phil down in sixth, Mazda seventh, Smoky Devil eighth, and Dean Wasocki ninth. Will set a lap time here surely. He's got a lap time track invalid again, so he's just pushing the boundaries too much, is Dean Wasocki, and hasn't been able to set another lap time for a third lap in a row. It's got to be frustrating for him. What can DJ Phil do here now then? Any improvements for DJ Phil? He'd love to, I'm sure, get his way up to the sharp end of the grid. 1.3 seconds he's currently down on his time. I do believe that's Mazda on his outlap now then. Here comes John Boy. Can he gain that half a second for pole position? No, he can't. What about Spliffmaster? Any improvement from him? No. Fuster? Nothing from him neither. Here comes the Smoky Devil. Can he find any more time? He does. 1.5 seconds puts him into sixth. Here comes X-Mart down on his time. Charlie Goff also down on his time. Sutty send it in them again then. Full grid for race 2. Can he get a time in? Right, Dean Wasocki coming through Stowe. He struggled on this back section of the track here. This is where he keeps picking up his time penalties. He must be frustrated with it. And he comes down the Vale straight in towards the club section of the track then. And then he comes here on the accelerator now. And looks like he's going to get a good lap in. John Boy's picked himself up a lap time invalid. Fuster's in the pits. So Dean Wasocki with 2.5 minutes remaining crosses the line and improves by 1.6. DJ Phil, any improvement from him? Just 600ths of a second. Where's Mazda then in the Astra? He's got John Boy all over the back of him with an invalid lap. 2/10 down that time round. Sutty's going to start his next lap. Spliffmaster, no improvement from him. Where's Fuster? He's coming out the pit lane now. Smoky Devil's coming across the line here. No improvement for him. What about for Charlie Goff? Goes 8/10 quicker and puts it second place as X-Mart set a fastest lap of the race, of qualifying, sorry. Charlie Goff then, the two blue and yellow Megans, 8/10 between the two of them, 800, sorry, between the two of them. So interesting, that Smoky Devil in the pits. He's got to get out sooner rather than later, otherwise he's not going to get a lap time in. So Dean Wasocki, in fact DJ Phil looks like he's got past Dean Wasocki. So DJ Phil, is he going to be up on his time here? Sutty Apex has got a lap time invalid, so he's going to have to go for it one more time maybe. But DJ Phil crosses the line for no improvement. What about Dean Wasocki? Any improvement from him? Nothing there then. John Boy's going to cross the line. Do we see any improvement from John Boy? No, we don't. We see nothing as well from Mazda or Sutty Apex. Obviously track limits invalid. Fuster crosses the line for no improvement. What about X-Mart? Can he go even faster here? No, he can't. Charlie Goff crosses the line now and no improvement for him. So just Sutty without a lap time so far. DJ Phil has actually lost out on track position to Dean Wasocki. DJ Phil, not sure where he is. Smoky Devil won't get another lap time in. Neither will Charlie Goff. So unfortunate for them two. Dean Wasocki may get round and just be the last one to scrape an extra lap time in. Might need it here as well, as he's currently 1.5 down on his time. Mazda's 2.2 down on his time. The only Astra on the grid, so one Astra, one BMW. Mazda may have made the wrong choice there in terms of car. But here comes Dean now then. Stay off that curb. Spliffmaster has a lap time invalid. Now he's got 7 seconds. Can he get to the line and get one more lap in? Will he do it in time? 3, 2, 1. Dean will get one lap in. John Boy won't. He doesn't improve any neither. An improvement for Mazda puts him 8th. Sutty Apex will start 10th. We know lap time. Fuster then, what can he do from here? Any improvement from him? None at all. Can X-Mart extend his lead at pole? No. He's gone into the pits. So there's only one man left in qualifying who can do a lap, and that is this man here, Dean Wasocki. Currently 3/10 down in the Megane so far as he comes down the hanger straight here then. Will there be any improvement coming into sector 2? Just got to the line in time to start a final lap, so we'll get an extra lap compared to everybody else. Just needs a tenth to beat Mazda. A couple of tenths will put him ahead of DJ Phil. Half a second may put him into the top 5 here. But 6 tenths down on his delta time, so it's going to be hard to find that back. Unless he's making that big a mistake through this final sector that he can't improve anywhere. Round he comes, stays away from the curb to not get the track limits this time. And I don't think he's done enough there, as he's just gone and got himself a lap time invalid. He's done all that for a track limits at the end. So X-Mart the man on pole in the reverse grid race here, with Charlie Goff second, the blue and yellow Renault Megane's out front with John Boy third, Spliffmaster 4th, Fuster 5th, Smoky Devil 6th, DJ Phil 7th, the only Astra of Mazda in 8th, Dean Wysocki 9th, Sooty Apex going to get a lap in 10th, and then the first of your 5 who couldn't qualify, Andy 11th, Jaff 12th, Sebas 13th, Fury 14th, Antonio Loza didn't qualify at all there, not sure why, 15th, and G bringing up the rear. So watch for G getting a few good runs here off the line and getting a few positions maybe as we head into the race, which is, as you can see, a wet one. A wet race in the dark here at Silverstone International. So interesting to see this. Just a quick reminder to the drivers that they cannot pit until lap 9. And after that, we'll see where strategy comes into play. Watch for G at the back, watch for Sebas, watch for Andy. Jaff and Fury had pace in race 1. Will they have the pace in the wet though? That remains to be seen. That remains to be the question at the moment. Will they have the pace in the wet to do anything about it? So it looks like we're ready to get underway here. You see the lights on. And we're underway here for the second race at Silverstone International for what should be an absolute cracker. X-Mart off the line well, but so is Charlie Goff and Spliffmaster in third. These two nearly lean on each other there, and I thought that might have just come down to who got through well. Who's that a bit slidey in the background? That's John Boy, so it's X-Mart from Charlie Goff. John Boy in third, who's just lost out actually to Spliffmaster, who's up the inside. Mazda's up into 5th here in the Astra. Smoky Devil 6th, Sooty Apex up into 7th, Fuster's in 8th. Sorry, only G's up into 8th from the back of the grid, so a cracking start from him. Sebas in 9th, battling with Fuster. Then who's down in 10th, Fury's 11th, Jaff in 12th. Who's that in the wall? Who is that off? Well, Andy's made it through. I think that's Fury, yeah. Fury and Fuster off together. So a bit of an incident there. Not sure what happened to Dean Wysocki. Qualified 9th and was down in 16th. He's now 14th then. But out front, X-Mart and Charlie Goff battling it out. Look at this trail of cards here. G is already on the back of Smoky Devil. In this, Charlie Goff off. Has a bit of a spin, resets the car. But he's now down in last place. So it started so well. He now runs at the back of the pack. X-Mart though leading them away for the first lap. John Boy second, Spliffmaster third. But look at G. He's side by side with Sooty Apex. And G looking up the inside. Sooty has to go wide and actually eventually loses out to Smoky Devil as well. And here's Mazda on the back of G. The Astra trying to go round past him. He does. Can Sooty defend from Sebas? I think he has done there. In fact, he sent one back up the inside of Mazda. There's the Sooty send it move we've all come to love. And Sebas has done the two of them on the outside. So an absolutely cracking manoeuvre there from Sebas. Absolutely brilliant from him. Put himself up a couple of places there. G really needs to get away from Sebas and Andy. Andy's up into P8. There he is now behind Sooty. You see Sooty just in front. He's defending from Jaff. Mazda's down in 10th just behind these two. Does Mazda go up the inside of Jaff here? He does later on the brakes and gets the move done. Gets that Astra stopped and stuck into the place. In fact, was trying to look on Andy, made it. As Jaff goes wide, that will be a slowdown for Jaff there. If not, it will be a time penalty. Jaff coming across Mazda a bit naughty there then. As we see them come into the club section now, Mazda keeps it there and will be up the inside for club surely. Unless Jaff has shut the door. No, Jaff runs wide and is that DJ Phil looking up the inside of Mazda. Maybe the Astra's not the right car choice then here because DJ Phil looking up the inside of Mazda. Dean Wasaki then on the back of Antonio Loza has Fuster right behind him. This then for 13th place on the grid. Fuster up the inside of Dean Wasaki, and Dean probably gives him that place a little bit too easy there then. But up from, Xmot leading from Spliffmaster. John Boy 3rd, only G in 4th. Needs to get his head down here on lap 3 of 27. Smoky Devil's 5th. Sebas in 6th place. Sooty still ahead of Andy then in 7th. There is Andy. There's Jaff 9th. Fury 10th. DJ Phil's 11th. Where's Mazda gone? He's dropped to 14th. There's Antonio Losses there in 12th. Fuster 13th. There's Mazda and Dean Wasaki side by side. Mazda running very wide there. Charlie Goff is so far behind, struggling in the wet. Mazda then tucks in behind Dean Wasaki for 15th place. So not sure what happened there, but Xmart has lost out to Spliffmaster, who looks like he's going to get the place back through the final section of club and does so there. Absolutely brilliant from him. Made that look so easy there, did Xmart. John Boy also gained a place, so did the only G, so did Seb. Sebas, Stefano and Smoky Devil side by side. In fact, Sebas will tuck back in behind Smoky Devil here. So where did Spliffmaster drop? He dropped to 10th. Sooty has a time penalty. That is Smoky Devil running all sorts of track limits there then. And Sebas looking to send one up the inside. Can he get it done there? Yes, he can. Nice and easy. Gets the car stopped in as well. So brilliant stuff from him. But Smoky Devil coming back at him then, and up the inside he goes, and he's done an absolute brilliant job there of getting back up the inside to take that move back off of him there then. Look at this little battle here. Sooty is going to try. Is he thinking of sending one here? Are we going to see the Sooty send it come into play as he looks up the inside of Smoky Devil and Sebas, but the door shuts. And does Smoky Devil look to try and get back through here then on Sooty? Jaff has passed Andy then. So a move's been done there for position. Andy's going to try and come back. Sooty now has to defend from Jaff, as well as maybe attack. Jaff tries to go around the outside. If he can keep the car hooked in, he will be up the inside of Sooty. A bit of a tap on the rear of Sooty, and Sooty has to yield as Jaff was forcing his way through there. And up the inside he goes. We've lost Charlie from the session. So Dean now effectively running plumb last. But we've lost Charlie Goff from the session then, as Sooty had to yield to Jaff and lost the place to Andy as well. The only G up into 3rd and is battling with Xmart then. Sebas will want to try and gain on the back of G. We're on lap 5 of 27. You can pit us from lap 9, so let's see what happens there. But G then, currently in 3rd place. Really trying to push and get past Xmart and John Boy so that he can pull away from Sebas Stefano, who's currently 3.2 off the back of him, who runs very wide there with Smoky Devil. We see a lot of them running wide in the wet. Sooty, the only man with a track limit, a time penalty so far here. Battle at the back between Dean Wasaki and Mazda. That's within a second. Couple in the midfield as well. But this is 3-4 the lead here on lap 5. We're coming down the Vale straight towards the club section of the track. And we break in, and Xmart's gone wide to go around the outside. In fact, John Boy's lost it, and G's gone past both, and Xmart just a tap on G, and he's managed to catch the slide of that BMW and hold it. Did Xmart realise what he'd done? He was a bit naughty and let G have the place. Was a little naughty out from Xmart, but G now leads here with Xmart second, John Boy third, Sebas in fourth ahead of Smoky Devil, who's been hunted down by Jaff, Andy, Fury, Sooty Apex. Spliffmaster has a time penalty. There is Sooty making his way past Fury as the camera's about to pick them up. Fury and Sooty. Fury's re-overtaken Sooty there then, so maybe redone him on the exit to turn 1. And Sooty then looking good for his pace at the moment. Say he only came into the session for this second race, but where's Jaff and Andy? Here they are, catching down Smoky Devil, but Fury now on the back of Andy here, and Andy just seems to be struggling against Fury and Jaff. He has had a battle against these guys all race. In race 1, and he's doing it again in race 2. These three seem to be with each other all over the track at the moment. Don't forget pit stops in this race, so strategy will come into it. But the pit stops are still another 3 laps away, 2 laps away should I say, as they cross the line in a moment. So no one thinking about pit stops just yet. But Andy having to defend heavily here from Fury. He'd want to be attacking the guy in front, which is Jaff, and he's ran wide, and look at Fury up the inside, and he's got the move done, it looks like, but Andy's going to try and keep it round the outside here. He's going to make Fury fight hard for this place. Jaff looks like he's got the inside line on Smoky Devil, but backs out to that one. Andy covers Fury off well. Fury runs very wide there. There is in the background Sooty Apex and Spliffmaster as the rain looks like it stopped. So does the track dry enough now for slicks? Let's just go on board Sooty here while we're with him, just to see if it has stopped raining. Yeah, it looks like it has then. So Jaff still not past Smoky Devil. Fury can't pass Andy. Spliffmaster has passed Sooty. DJ Phil's on the back of this trail of cars. X-Martin John Boy battling up front. Mazda's gaining on Antonio Loza as Dean has now dropped off the back of Mazda then on the timing screens. Look at Jaff. He's going to look up the inside, and him and Smoky Devil touch. And Smoky Devil's gone very, very wide after the contact. That's allowed Andy through. What about Fury? I don't think Fury managed to pass there. He's defending heavily from Spliffmaster, who's got Sooty all up the back of him as well. What a good battle this is, and Spliffmaster losing the rear. Did he tap Fury there? Think he had to come in together with Sooty, and in fact he's just driven into Sooty, and Pyle drives him off the road. Sooty will not be happy with that, that is for sure. DJ Phil looking interested here. Maybe a few places he could make up now then. G 2.5 seconds out in front. Sebas still fourth, can't gain on the back of John Boy and Xmart. If this track dries, and if it dries quick, do the guys think of pitting 4 dry tyres? The pit window opens from lap 9, so let's see then if they can just make 1 or 2 changes here, and if the track dries quick enough, whether they can pit for slicks or not. Pit window opens on the next lap, so you can pit any time as from the next lap, as Mazda on the timing screens has passed Antonio Loza. So see if he can make any more progress. Sooty's just dropped off the back of Spliffmaster. Bit naughty out from Spliffmaster there to just shunt Sooty off round the outside. Bit cheeky that. Nevertheless, Jaff still defending hard from Andy, who's got Smoky Boy still gaining on him. And Fury wants a piece of Smoky Boy as well. Here's your race leader then, and let's just see on board with him. The track still looks very wet and very damp at the moment. As we sit inside the cockpit view of the only G, look how smooth he is on the wheel here. Absolutely brilliant stuff from G. Look, just catches the slide a bit, you see there. Absolutely top stuff from this man. Really, really quick. The only BMW on the grid, so he's clearly doing a top job here. As we head back to the action then, Xmart and Sabat and John Boy then. Bit of a touch as we jump back on board them. Sabat has gained on the back of this little battle. So is Jaff and Andy. They've been brought with them. And Xmart's going to look around the outside of John Boy here. Now that might not work, as Sebas may have the run on Xmart here and maybe looking up the inside. In fact, he's in the middle of John Boy and Xmart, and Sebas will cruise through into P2. And look at Jaff, he's coming with Sebas. He's going to be up the inside into Stowe, and as Jaff just got to P2, I don't think so. Sebas has kept it around the outside, and what a cracking move. But Jaff's going to fight back. Andy's got past John Boy as well. Look at this battle here. Jaff has passed Sebas, and Xmart looking to make it 3 wide as they come into club. Can't get it done. Bit of a tap up the rear of Sebas there. Sebas back into second and runs wide through club. This will give Xmart a brilliant run through the last corner, and Jaff hits 3 wide coming through the final corner, and 3 into 1 will not go. X-Mart is on his roof. Jaff's had a spin, he's managed to get back on all fours there, and my days, 3 into 1 will not go. And what a silly manoeuvre that. Jaff trying to, X-Mart probably being a bit greedy, trying to go up through the middle of Jaff and Sebas. Oh dear. Andy then, out of all of this, has got up into P3. Spliff Master up into 4th. Smoky Devil currently runs 5th with Fury in 6th place. Sebas now 7th after that collision. DJ Phil's running 8th. Fuster has just passed Sutty, who's been involved in a lot of dramas. Look at the state of his car. So Sutty's P10, Jaff's down in 11th. X-Mart is 12th, battling with Mazda here in the Astra, you see. Mazda's got Antonio Loza not far behind him, and Dean Wasaki trailing at the back on his own. Spliff Master and Sutty have a penalty. But G's pitting. G's in the pits here. Now, is he pitting for slicks? Where is John Boy? John Boy's coming in. What about Andy? Andy has stayed out then. Smoky Devil also comes into the pits. What about Spliff Master? He stays out. Fury stays out. Sebas stayed out. DJ Phil has stayed out. Fuster coming around the final corner. What can he do then? Fuster stays out. Sutty stays out. Jaff stays out. Mazda stays out. X-Mart's in the pits. Loza stays out. Wildin Wasaki, he's pitted as well. So an early pit stop for him. So Andy then has inherited the race lead. We've seen him at times pit later than anybody else, and that's managed to keep him in front as he's managed to pull a gap out away from everybody then. Fantastic scenes here at Silverstone International. Great bit of battling. 3 into 1 earlier coming through the final corner. We saw X-Mart on his roof. I think a car clipped him, which tipped him back the right way. But holy moly, that is good racing so far from these lads. We've seen incidents and great overtaking manoeuvres galore here. Does Andy think of pitting this lap then? X-Mart has just left the pit lane. So is John Boy and the Only G, and look at who's pitting now. So Andy, does he feel like he's got enough of a window? Spliff Master's going to come in. Fury stays out, so does Sebas. What about DJ Phil? He's going to stay out as well. Fuster then. So Dean Wasaki, I think Dean Wasaki we've lost. I think we've lost Dean. So not sure what's happened there. But Jaff Fuster stays out, Sutty stays out, Mazda stayed out, so does Antonio Loza. Smoky Devil stays out. The Only G then is the first car on track who has pitted. So where is Andy? Andy's still sat in the pit lane here, so it's not looking good at the moment. Where's G? Coming round the final corner, and Andy has still not moved from his pit box. He leaves his pit box now, and I don't think his tactics work, as here comes G. Should inherit the place off Andy. He does. John Boy might as well here, you know. John Boy might have gained a position as well. No, he hasn't. Andy is back out ahead of Spliff Master, so all back out on track now. Question, are these guys on the slick tyre now, or what are they running? Fury coming towards the end of the lap, leads from Sebas. Fury now darts into the pit. Sebas will stay out. What about DJ Phil? He's going to stay out on track. Sutty looks like he's getting past Fuster then. Well, they're side by side, still battling. Mazda's just behind these two, wanting a little piece of the action. Them three have all stayed out. Antonio Loza on track. Trundles into the pits at a very slow pace. Smoky Devil, I do believe, has pitted. We know G has. Andy then running in P10. So Fury in the pits. Sebastofano can get his foot down and get away here. And can slowly start to build a lead ahead of DJ Phil. Fury and Antonio Loza in the pits. X-Mart's in the pits again. Unfortunately for him. But Sebas pulling away. Sutty is up to P3. In fact, Fuster and Sutty, they've collided and gone round. That will give Mazda third. Not sure what happened there. We jumped on board with Sutty Apex. All of a sudden him and Fuster were touching there. I wonder if Fuster's tried to force him wide and turn him round. That's a bit cheeky, that, from Fuster. G now running 6th as he's past Smoky Devil. The top 5 then haven't pitted, and Sebas comes in this lap. DJ Phil will inherit the lead here. So DJ Phil doing absolute bits at the minute to try and extend his first stint. Mazda's also going to stay out. Fuster stays out. And there's the Sooty Sendit coming into the pit lane. He's got to brake. Get that car slow down in time. And he does indeed. So Sebas at the only G then, as Fuster stays out, should pass Seb and Sooty Apex. In fact, I think Smoky Devil may be able to pass Sooty Apex and Sebas Stefano. Indeed he does, but DJ Phil is currently all race leader. Spliff Master on the back of John Boy. In fact, we've gone to them and they're round. Who is that? Is that X-Mark, the back marker? Yes, he's got involved with John Boy, with Spliff Master. That's allowed Fury into 10th. So what has happened there with X-Mark? I'm not quite sure. Oh, it's gone wrong for Spliff Master and X-Mark in this race. Spliff Master sounds like he needs to change gear there. John Boy, though, gaining on the back of Andy. Andy now running P7. And all this action, this is absolutely brilliant here, all this action. It's been chaotic, it has. It's been absolutely chaotic. You see John Boy up on his time. Fury is gaining on Sebas, who's come out in P9. But we look to the leaders. DJ Phil Green hasn't pitted. Mazda, though, is coming in. Fuster doesn't pit. So the top 3, out the top 3, Mazda's pitted. Is he trying to undercut Fuster and G? We've lost another driver. We've lost X-Mark from the race. I think he's retired. You see 2 blue dots in the pit lane. I think that's Dean Wasocki and X-Mark who have retired then. DJ Phil still leads here. 9 seconds ahead of Fuster. Now, depending on the pit lane, let's just jump on board with DJ Phil, actually. Is this track drying? So is slicks the way to go? G's doing 1 minute 11, so is G still on the wet tyre? It still seems a bit damp in places, but dry in a lot of others. Damp offline as DJ Phil goes offline. Is Mazda then and Sooty Apex going to put the slick tyre on here? I wonder. Wonder if that's a bit of a tactic from them two, who did a league race recently in the wet around Silverstone Grand Prix in the GT3 cars, albeit, but a race in the wet's not nonetheless, so they'll know when it starts to dry or not. DJ Phil still doesn't choose to pit. Here's Fuster coming into Stowe with the only G gaining on him. Fuster and DJ Phil have still to pit, and Fuster looks like he's diving in now, so that will release G. Smoky Devil running P4, so a good drive here from Smoky Devil. Andy, though, trying to gain on the back of him, with John Boy trying to stay with him as well. Now let's keep an eye on the lap times. Is Mazda and Sooty on the dry tyre? We'll see. Lap 15 of 27, so a dry tyre seems the way to go, maybe, as the track dries and dries and dries. If these guys have put wets on, a Smoky Devil ran wide out the last corner there, and that's gave the place to Andy with no bother there. We go back to Sebas, who's on the back of Fury. Spliff Master is on the back of Mazda. But back to Sebas, who's trying to pass Fury here. Needs to make up some places as G will inherit the lead after DJ Phil goes into the pits. He'll want to make up as many places. He's gained a place because Fuster's in the pit. So does Master and Spliff Master. Does Sooty? Jaff's gained a place. Does Sooty gain a place on Fuster? Fuster just coming out the pit lane now. Sooty coming to the last corner. Antonio Loza coming through Stowe corner. Then here's DJ Phil, who doesn't pit again here. So possibly waiting for the track to dry, maybe. Back to Sebas and Fury. This battle raging on here. Look at the background, Master and Spliff Master. I think Mazda, maybe on the slick tyre, he's really gained on Spliff Master. And look at the Astra, it's drove past the Mercedes. The Astra actually slower in a straight line, but it's driven past the Mercedes. So has Mazda got that slick tyre on, where Spliff Master may still be on the wet tyre? If he is, he's going to overheat them tyres for sure, surely. Mazda then on the quicker tyre here, it looks like. There's 2 tenths up on his fastest lap as well, is Mazda. After he's had to get heat into these tyres as well, does the Astra. So we'll see what he can do. Spliff Master trying to get back past him here. Cuts across the grass here. Smoky Devil in the pits from 7th. So that's give Mazda and Spliff Master an extra place. Fuster come out 10 seconds ahead of Sooty. Look at these two still battling. They rub a bit there. And Spliffmaster looks like he's going to try and send one up the inside. Master's already covered it off. He's going to have to go the long way round here at Village and can't get it done. Master drove past Spliffmaster on the hanger straight last lap like he was going backwards, but he's not dropped him here. Spliffmaster trying around the outside on the hanger straight, runs a bit wide there. These two again just trading a bit of body work, and up front you see Sebas and Fury. This could decide a championship going into next week as well. Fury though yields the place to Sebas, who's ran a bit deep, and Fury's going to come back at him here. We see them side by side and Sebas has cut him off. That running wide helped him get down the inside line at the corner. As Spliffmaster has passed Mazda then, and I think Sebas has the job done. DJ Phil has pitted. Andy now is up into second place after his pit stop. So DJ Phil has pitted. Is he coming out the pit lane? I don't think so at the minute. So Sebas and Fury should gain an extra place. Will Sutty's up to P11, so he's past Fuster and Smoky Devil. Spliffmaster and Mazda's taking Jaff with them, who's both past DJ Phil as well. Will Sutty and Smoky Devil be able to pass DJ Phil, who sounds like he's exiting the pit lane now? And there is Sutty and Smoky Devil. There's Fuster P12. That car's seen better days, that is for sure. Antonio Loza then has been lapped. Only G 4.3 ahead of Andy. You see Andy just trying to lap Fuster in the background, as Fury still trying to hang with Sebas, but I think Sebas has done enough. Spliffmaster has Mazda and Jaff on the back of him, but I think Mazda's defending from Jaff more than he is attacking Spliffmaster, you see there. We're on lap 18 of 27, 19 if you're only G. These are coming down to start their 19th lap of the race. Sutty didn't get past DJ Phil. He currently sits about 13 seconds behind. Mazda driving a good defensive line there into the first part of club and through the second part, and Jaff a bit frustrated behind, trying to go the long way round, and then began should have the pull on the Astra, but that will surely be a slowdown, if not picking up a time penalty, as that was a cut to the exit there indeed. And Jaff indeed does back out and let Mazda have the corner, and drops off the back of Mazda slightly there so that he can serve his time penalty, sort of slowdown penalty. Fury trying to hang with the back of Sebas, but it's just not happening. Sebas is currently 11 seconds behind John Boy on lap 19 of 27. Can he gain enough to pass, to gain and pass John Boy? He'll want it to get on the podium. G though has come from the back of the grid and must have made a mistake somewhere, or traffic must have held him up, as he is only 1.8 ahead of Andy. That is, I do believe, Smoky Devil they are about to lap. Yes, that's Smoky Devil they're about to lap. And G really struggling then, as G made a bit of a mistake coming through Abbey, and Andy's right up the back of him now. It's a 10th, bit of a touch there, and Andy's going to send one into Village and gets it stuck. Up the inside goes Andy, but G's going to try and come back at him. Andy was 3 seconds quicker than G on the last lap, and I think Andy may have done a race 2 special again there. He's good at doing these, and I think he's pulled off another one. We've seen G and Andy battle all season, and I think we're seeing another Andy brilliant pit strategy over G. Jaff did get past Mazda. Mazda trying to keep with the back of him now, though. Fury still within a couple of tenths of Sebas, but this for the race lead at the moment. No other battles other than the Fury Sebas and Mazda Jaff one apart from this as well. Sebas now has done him, as Fury's dropped well off the back on the timing screens. But what a manoeuvre that was from Andy. Really gained going through the first corner. And has made some ground there. Gary saying that he wants to put some lights on. His lights are on now, mate. What a manoeuvre from Andy then. So G had no response to that, and he's just dropping off the back of Andy. Now a question, has G gone back onto the wet tyre and burnt his tyre up, as he was 2 seconds a lap slower than Andy last time round? Did Andy risk the slicks early? And is that why Andy's a bit quicker here? Even John Boy was 2 seconds quicker than G last time round. Seb was the fastest man on track with a 1 minute 8.8. G only lapping at what the midfield are doing here, as they're coming up to lap Smoky Devil. You see Andy up on his Delta as well. Smoky Devil should really yield the position there and let Andy through, and he's tapped Andy, and that's allowed G to have a run. Smoky Devil getting involved with the leaders. You want to see the back markers yield out the way. He didn't near and tapped Andy. G got involved a little bit, but fortunately for Andy, he holds on to the lead. But G now only a couple of tenths behind. Still, I mean, Andy lost a lot of time through the last corner. G was a tenth slower than Andy on the last lap. So Andy has all the hard work of pulling away again. That really helped G get past Smoky Devil. Then the next person on track, though, will come to lap, will be Sooty Apex. Where's Sooty on track? He's at the bottom of the hangar straight. You see these guys join the hangar straight then. Andy has a time penalty. G doesn't. G just needs to stick to the back of him. Andy ran really wide there coming onto the hangar straight and may have faced another slowdown, but can he afford to slow down when G is right up his chuff here? This is absolute great racing from the pair of them here. Breaking into the corner to club to start lap 23 of 27. We're coming to the back end of the race. Sebas has picked up, in fact it's easier to tell you, G's now picked up a time penalty. So when he had the advantage over Andy, that's gone. It's easy to tell you who's not got a time penalty. And look at the lap time from Andy there, a 1:08.7 compared to G's 1:10.6. So Andy a lot quicker on the last lap. That might be down to G's time penalty though, that's added a second or two onto the lap time, as G hasn't dropped 2 seconds from Andy. He's right on his bumpers, trying to stick with him as best he can. You see that car down the straight with no lights, they've probably been damaged. That's Sooty Apex, who will be lapped shortly with the looks of things based on these lap times. He's trying to hunt down DJ Phil, but I don't think he will here. Got 9 seconds to DJ Phil, I think. Mazda's still trying to battle with Jaff, but I think Jaff is just starting to pull away from that one then. It's this battle for the lead that's interesting at the moment. Andy versus G. What times can these guys come up with here? What sort of pace can Andy have to pull away from G? What time penalties do they have? Because without looking, we can't find out what time penalties they have. These two will know what they've got. And G just dropping off the back by half a second here. Andy 2 tenths quick that lap. So I said that earlier, does G have the wet tyre on? They burnt up? Clearly not, because he's just done a 1:08.6. Some good lap times here from these two. Sebas, another man that can get in the 1:08s. We've not really seen it from him here. He's 12 seconds behind John Boy. As we see the marker of Mazda going. So that battle with Jaff is no more. So I think a P8 for Mazda is the best he can do. That car just down the straight you saw was Sooty Apex, who will be lapped in due course. But it's Andy here on lap 24 of 27. They're about to come around to start the 25th lap. And Andy's just eking away ever so slightly here. Just pulling a few tenths or hundredths out over G. And you can just see that gap increasing then. So Andy having the advantage over G here then. But don't forget, what are the time penalties? What will this come down to? So they are coming up to lap Sooty Apex. It was in a bit of a no man's land here. 9.5 off the back of DJ Phil Green. 10.2 ahead of Smoky Devil, but as the leaders who are gaining on him. So it's Andy then who leads from G. John Boy's currently sitting third with Sebastopano in fourth. Fury sits in fifth place with Spliff Master sixth. Jaff seventh. Mazda in eighth. The only Astra on the grid. DJ Phil Green in ninth. Sooty Apex 10th, as we know. Smoky Devil running in 11th with Fuster 12th. Antonio Loza 13th. We've lost X-Mart and Dean Wasaki from the race after X-Mart had a bit of a flip trying to make it 3 wide coming through the final corner. But back out front, Andy now has a gap of a second to the only G. So has G made a mistake this lap while we was running through the order? Because Andy is well in front then. Over a second to G now. So with these penalties that might hurt G. He really wants to try and get on the back of Andy here, as you see that car of Sooty Apex getting closer and closer. Andy does a 1:08.1. G only managed a 1:08.8, so losing 7 tenths of a second there to Andy. Not what he'd have wanted at all from him. Gio want to be back on the pace and want to keep that pressure on Andy for sure. As down towards the hanger straight we come now. Let's see how dry the track is actually as we come down the hanger straight. Track is absolutely bone dry. So if these guys have put wets on, they're probably burning them up. That is Sutty Apex in front. And in front of him is DJ Phil. Sutty though, as clean as you like, pulls out the way for Andy and will probably stay out the way for the only G, who's just losing time over Andy here. You know, he just cannot stick with him. Sutty keeps out the way there, so well done from him. I think that's his chance of catching DJ Phil gone as Andy coming round now to start the final lap of the race. The gap to G is 2.3 seconds as they exit club. He's really pulled out a good gap here. We enter the final lap now and Andy is well in front, and whatever time penalties he's got, it's got to be a lot more than G's to make sure G can win this race. Just don't put a foot wrong from here. Equally, G needs to really get on it in this last lap. Jaff gaining on the back of Spliffmaster, and that's for 6th place for a few more points there. Maybe Sebas will be disappointed he couldn't get on the podium, but don't forget Sebas was involved in an earlier incident with Jaff and Xmart, which led to Xmart rolling down the start-finish straight on the exit to the final corner, tried to make it 3 wide. But Andy down the hanger straight, he's now 2.5 in the lead of the only G. And it's been an absolute brilliant race, a masterclass from this man as he comes in. He's got 3 corners left to master. As there's Antonio Lozra, who could be lapped again here. I don't think he will be. Andy then, 2 corners to go. That's the first of the 2 done. The second one's pretty simple. There it is. And in fact, he's slowing down a bit. Has Andy near enough run out of fuel? No, he hasn't, but he wins the race. G wins it on time penalties. G has won the race then from Andy. John Boy's going to come home and take 3rd. A flash of the lights. John Boy will be over the moon with that race. Good display from him. Sebastofano, what could have been if he wasn't involved in an earlier incident. What could have been for that man. He's going to come home to take a P4, and the championship's going to roll on to Alton Park. Fury will take 5th. As he was being caught by Jaff. Sorry, Jaff was being caught by Spliffmaster. And there is Spliffmaster just in the background. Jaff looks like he's going to take a 6th. Another man involved in that incident earlier. Spliffmaster will take 7th. Master a good 8 for him in the Renault Megane. DJ Phil Green is going to take 9th place here. So DJ Phil, a flash of the lights from him. He'll take 9th place, so a good race for DJ Phil Green. Sutty will come home 10th with Smokey Devil 11th, Fuster 12th, and Antonio Loza crosses the line there to bring up the rear. But Andy's time penalties at the end, not enough. Look, 5 seconds he had at the end. It wasn't enough to beat G's 1 second, and he had a gap of 2 seconds as well. Just needed the extra time at the end. Needed 2.3 seconds to take the victory from G, but it wasn't to be. So G with the win from Andy, and John Boy taking a 3rd place. Sebas with 4th. After a disappointing night, we saw Dean Wasaki and Xmart. Dean got DQ'd, probably speeding in the pits or spinning, not sure, and Xmart retired from the race after his flip. So then G takes the win and heads into next week at Alton Park for the championship decider. Like I say, table's not up to date, so we can't quite see who's who, but I'm sure G will get that sorted out for us. But from all of us here at Motive Racing, we thank you for joining us tonight, and good night.